So rise is this way, right? Run is this way. So like you rise in a hot air balloon, you run on the ground. Think about that. Rise, run. Does that help? Okay. Change, and then this says change in Y and change in X. Change in math means the difference. So I'm going to find the difference, or subtraction. Does that help a little bit? So I'm going to be subtracting. So I'm going to find my change in my Y's, subtract, and my change in my X's. Go ahead. Next thing we're going to talk about is there's 4 different types of slope. 4 slopes. Okay? So we read a graph from left to right. Everyone understand that? You read a graph from left to right? So as I'm reading my graph from left to right, if my graph goes in an upwards position, my slope will be positive. From left to right, if my slope goes in a negative direction, it's negative. So if it's going down from left to right, it's negative. Does that help? So when you're graphing and your slope is negative, if you graph your slope and your line is going up, then guess what? Wrong. Does that help a little bit? Yeah. So it should always go downwards if it's a negative slope, upwards if it's a positive slope. So that kind of helps you when we're graphing a little bit. And then we have 2 other types. We have 0. If I have a horizontal line, right, like I'm laying on the ground or in your bed or wherever, laying down somewhere, that's a slope of 0. Because remember, slope is the steepness of a line. If my line has no steepness, my slope is 0. Yeah. It goes through the y-axis, okay? If I have then my last one is if I have a vertical line, so I'm standing up, right? My slope is undefined. There is no slope. What it looks like mathematically, just so you guys know, 0 slope is 0 divided by some number. So if you ever see 0 divided by something, that's 0. Okay, 0 slope. Does that make sense? Undefined is some number divided by 0. Guess what? Cannot ever, 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 ever divide by 0. I can never, ever have a 0 in the bottom. Okay? That's undefined. If you put it into a calculator and say I have 5 divided by 0, my answer is not 5. My answer is not 0. If you put it into the calculator, it's going to say a couple different things. It can say error. Okay, a lot of calculators just say error. And some of them will actually say undefined. Okay? So always double check with your calculator, right? I can do 0 divided by some number, always get 0. Okay, any questions so far? Are we okay? Okay. Very important things to think about when we're talking about slope. Okay, so we're going to talk about today how do we find slope? How do we find slope from a graph? How do we find slope from a table, from 2 points? And how do we find slopes from an equation? So today we're going to do the first 3, from a graph, from a table, from 2 points. Tomorrow we're going to talk about finding it from an equation, because that one is really the hardest one. You have to manipulate the equation. Are we okay with that? Okay. So, and I have, and I will put this up, by the way, on the Canvas page. I have a how-to page. I did a how-to, like how to do this and how to do that, right? So the first how-to is how to find slope, right? So how do I find slope from a graph? 4 simple steps right here. 1, find 2 points on the graph. Whew. Okay? 2, count the squares. Okay? Count the difference in the height. 3, count the difference in the run. And then simplify if I have to. Okay? So that's how I'm going to find the slope from a graph. So if I have an example, I want to kind of try and get both of those up here. Oh, ooh, ooh. It's so different on my iPad than it is up here, so I have to pay attention. There we go. So find 2 points on the graph. So I'm going to find 2 points. Here's a point right here, and here's a point right here. Okay, I found 2 points. You could use other points. Yeah, any 2 points on the graph. Let me restate this. Any 2 points that touch on one of the little crosses, right? I don't want to touch a point like here, let me blow this. I don't want this point because I don't know where that point is. Does that make sense? So I want to make sure I have a point. So I would choose that point or this point or this point or this point. Does that make sense? I would choose 2 of those. Is everyone okay with that? So I'm going to erase this again. Sorry. So I can only choose 2 of them. So I'm going to choose this one and I'm going to choose this one because I want to be able to do something with it. Okay? So I chose these 2 points. So I know that slope equals rise over run, right? So rise is the difference which way? X or Y? Rise is X or Y? Y. So I'm going to count the difference between my 2 points up and down. So here's my first point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Everyone okay with that? I counted 4. Do I need to zoom in again? Okay. Is that better? So I started at this point right here, and I went 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? So now I'm here. Now I'm going to count my run. Which way am I going to get to my point? Forwards or backwards? Backwards. So how far backwards am I going? 2. So how do I write backwards 2 as a number? Negative 2, because I went back. That's negative. I went in a negative direction. I'm going 1, 2. That's negative 2. Yes? Oh. And now I'm going to simplify. What's 4 divided by negative 2? Close. Negative 2 over 1. Okay? Yep, because the bigger number's on top, right? 4 candy bars, 2 friends. How many candy bars does each friend get, right? And the negative divided by positive is a negative. Yeah, it's simplify, right? Simplify if necessary. If you chose 2 different points, you might not have to simplify, right?
Oh.
Okay, so let's go to number 2 and pick 2 more points, right? So I try and always find one. Here's one, I think. Let me erase that. Let me look at that point again. I'm not exactly sure that's on that cross there. This one definitely is. And then, no, I don't think that one is. No. And this one. I only have 2 points to choose from here. Okay? 2 points. Okay? So if I count my rise, right, how far did I rise? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm here. I'm going to just mark it here. I'm here. I'm going to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sure. Can you see the point here is on this line right here? Do I need to make it bigger? Like that? Is that okay? And then this point here is on this line right here, right? Okay. So if I start here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 squares. Huh? Yeah, I'm just going up to where it's at on the same line. My rise. I rose 6 squares. Okay? And then how far am I running? Well, I'm running from here to here, right? I can draw my line here too. That's 5 over what? 7? Yeah, so this is 5 over 7. So my slope would be 5 over 7. Yeah. And is my line positive or negative? From left to right, is it going up or down? Positive. So my slope is positive. Yeah. Yeah? Okay. So let's have, let's flip to the next page. I'm going to flip back 2 pages for a second. Oh, no. 1 page. Remember this right here. okay? Where I said 0, if it's 0 slope, that always equals 0 divided by some number, right? So if I end up with slope and it's 0 divided by something, notes are right there, I will get 0. It doesn't matter what that something is, it could be anything. It could be 0 divided by 1,000,000, and I will get what? 0. The second one I said is if I have something divided by 0, which again could be 15 bazillion, jillion, whatever, right? Divided by 0, guess what I'm going to get?
0.
Undefined. If I divide by 0, can't do it, ever, my answer is undefined. If I 0 divided by something, my answer is 0.
So what would undefined? Oh, all right.
Yes? And you guys have 4 to do. Okay, so I found 2 points, right? So now I can draw a triangle, yeah? And it doesn't matter. I can draw this triangle here. I can draw this one. Or I could draw this one. Doesn't matter. Same triangle, right? It's the same one. And I can count how far is my rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how far is my run? 1. So my slope, okay. My slope is going to be 7 over 1. Now, is it positive or negative? From left to right, is my line going up or going down? From left to right. So let me come up here. So from left to right, is my line going up or is it going down? It's going up, so it's positive. So I don't even have to figure out if I'm, if I'm going up and back and forward. Just count my triangle. And if my line's going up, it's positive. If my line's going down, it's negative, right? So this is positive 1 over 7. Did that help a little bit? Yeah. You want to try the next ones? Okay. I'll hold that one there. Okay, for number B, I need to find 2 spots, right? And if I don't pick is it okay if I don't pick the points you picked? Yes, it is. It's okay. Right? I'm going to pick this point and this point. I'm going to draw a triangle. Whew. Here's my triangle. Count 2 and 1. My rise is 1. My run is 2. Is my slope positive or negative? Negative. So it's negative 1/2. So was your final answer negative 1/2? If your answer was if your final answer was negative 1/2, you don't have to change anything. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, number B. Number B. Oh, sorry. Hey, in math, all letters are a number, just some unknown number, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to.
I made that argument with Mr. Clay too, and he was like, oh. I'm like, oh. Okay, number C. Find 2 points. And I think I picked this one and no, this one. So I'm going to draw my triangle. Here we go. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My slope is rise is 8. Run is 7. Slope positive or negative? Positive, yeah, because my graph is getting bigger, right? Awesome. And then the last one is letter D. And here's a point, and here's a point. So draw my triangle. I went up by 3 and over by 2, so my slope is 3 over 2, and it's positive, so it's 3/2. Questions?
So number 1 would be this, right?
I don't know, I haven't done that yet. Questions on how to find graph equation from oh my Lanta. Slope from a graph. Yes, dear.
For the circle that we have close, it has to be on the top.
Yeah, make sure it's on the cross. Okay? Good. For the point you're choosing, yeah. Any other questions? Okay. I didn't want to say this, although I have said it to you guys. if I ask if everyone's okay and no one says anything, what do I assume?
That everything's okay.
That everyone understands everything, right? So if I ask and you don't understand it, just speak up, because there's probably 10 other people in here who has the same question as you. Okay, so make sure you're asking, except for maybe these two, but just ask, okay? These two can just deal with it.
Wow.
What, Jonathan?
Is Zach too good in class?
Yeah.
He did good?
Who's
Yeah.
Zach?
A friend?
Is it Martinez?
No.
Oh.
The last one? I was talking about it last time.
Oh, yeah. Because we confused with Zach.
You mean Deshaun?
No, I'm not the shot.
Isn't that who you were chasing into my class yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Zach, his friend Zach, in the same class.
Huh?
Zach in the same class as Deshaun?
No, but Zach was
I'd have to look. Okay, so how to find slope from a table now? How to find slope from a table. Find the difference in the x's, the run, and the difference in the y's, the rise. Which is the rise? So I'm going to look at my graph here, or my table here. Is it too big? Okay. And I just want to find the differences. So I'm going to go down my x's first. What's the difference between 0 and -4? 0 and -4 is 4, right? What's the difference between 4 and 0?
plus 4.
4. What's the difference between 8 and 4? What's the difference between 12 and 8? 4.
Yeah.
Right? It's all 4s. Are we okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Notice I went from, I do want to point this out, I went from the difference between here to here. So I said 4 minus a -4. And 4 minus 0. And 8 minus 4 and 12 minus 8. All we're going to do is subtract right now. Can you guys all subtract?
No, she can't.
Okay, we're going to do the same thing now on the other side. Okay, what's my difference between 4 and 6? -2. 4 minus 6. Are you okay with that? -2. Okay, what's the difference between 2 and 4? Good. 0 and 2. -2 and 0. Right. Yes, always.
That's good.
Okay, so rise, so slope equals rise over run. This is my rise here. This is my run. So it should be -2 over 4. Which should equal, what does that simplify to? -1/2. Which part? Okay. So slope is rise over run, right? So this is my rise because it's the y's. My x's are my run, right? Rise over run. Y over x. Okay? So -2 over 4. And then we simplify. -2 over 4 simplifies to -1/2. 2 fourths. Divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1/2.
Wait, 2 4 is divided by what?
So y goes over x.
Sorry. Say that. I'm so sorry.
Okay, let me take this off for a second.
Yeah.
What goes into both 2 and 4? 2, right? 2 divided by 2 is 1.
1. Sorry.
And 4 divided by 2 is 2.
Oh.
1/2.
Okay.
Okay? Nice. Okay, so I do want to say, we know it's the same all the way down, right? Some tables are not the same difference all the way down. That's why I did it. Okay? So sometimes maybe this difference was 8, and this difference was -4. I need to make sure I have the same slope. Is -4 divided by 8 still 1/2? Yeah. Okay, so sometimes this difference here is not the same going all the way down. Does that make sense? Sometimes I try and trick you. trick you. Okay? I'm not going to throw too many of those in there because I don't want to trick you too much. But on your final test, they might do that to you. Okay? Not the test I'm giving you, right? The one at the end of the year, or whatever it's called. I never know, right?
I think it's gonna be right.
Aspire.
Aspire.
Thanks.
Oh.
Aspire.
Never mind.
Rise is in middle school, right? Aspire's here.
Oh, it changes.
Okay, so, but sometimes they do that, so you need to be sure that you know that I'm checking all of them to make sure it's equal. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So let's go to number 2. I'm sure there's a number 2. Okay. What's my difference all the way on my x's? So it's all ones, right? So 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, what's my difference on my, the y's? What's the difference between negative 1 and negative 3? 2, great. 1 and negative 1. 3 and 1. 5 and 3. Excuse me, what is my slope? 2 over 1, or what's 2 divided by 1? Just 2, right? That's it. That's all there is to it, to finding a slope from a table. Does that make sense? Who doesn't understand that part? Everyone okay? Okay. Use 4 problems. Find the slope for those 4 problems. So let's go ahead and do this. Right, A. Woo! Is that big enough?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do this side, right? 0 minus minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 0, 2. 6 minus 2 is, what's 6 minus 2? 4. And 10 minus 6? 4. Look, it changes. Oh my gosh, it changes.
Wow.
And then 3 minus minus 3?
3.
3 minus 6, beautiful. 9 minus 3? 6. 21 minus 9? 33 minus 21? 12. So I have to make sure they all equal each other. So 6 over 2 has to equal 12 over 4. Is that true? Do they equal each other?
Yeah.
Is everyone agreeing or just going with what Halima's saying? What's 6 divided by 2? 3. What's 12 divided by 4? 3. So what's my slope? 3. Does that make sense? Remember when I said sometimes they change? The distance between them change, so you have to double check all of them. Yes? Because sometimes they change and then they throw in a funky slope and then it doesn't work, right? Okay. So B, 3 minus 6. 3 minus 6. Negative 3. Beautiful. 0 minus 3. Negative 3 minus 0. Negative 6 minus minus 3. What's my difference on this side? 0, 0, 0, 0. So slope equals 0 divided by negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to flip back a page for a second. So number B, what is my answer?
Number B.
0. Very good. My slope is 0. Awesome. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So now we're going to go to number C. Yes, number C. Quit laughing at me.
Letter C.
Okay. What is my difference on my x's?
0.
0. 0, 0, 0, 0. What's my differences on my y's?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Slope is negative 2 divided by 0. What's my slope?
Undefined.
Undefined, right?
Yep.
Can never, ever, ever divide by 0, right? If you actually put it into your calculator and you go negative 2 divided by 0, you'll get either error. Remember, we already talked about this. So you'll either get error, or you'll get undefined, or you'll get something. Does not exist. You can get D and E also, which means does not exist. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. And letter D. Haha. Okay. Negative 4 minus, negative 1, yeah, good. Minus and minus 4 is 3. My difference here is 3. 3 and, oh yeah, 3. What's my difference here?
1.
It's positive 1?
Yeah.
Negative 1. Good. Okay, so what's my slope? Negative 1 divided by 3. Does that make sense? Are we okay with that? Not too bad? Awesome. You guys are awesome. I want to say that. It's my favorite class so far. And I'm not lying. I love this class. Even though Isaiah's late. And this is only the second class he's ever showed up to. I feel so special today. Thank you for coming. Okay. Okay, so how to find slope from 2 points. Now we have 2 points, right? I have 2 points, x, y. How do I find it? I'm going to subtract my y's. I'm going to subtract my x's. Boom, there's my, oh, I might have to simplify. I just wanted to throw, I should have put that in there. Sorry. I may have to simplify, okay? Are you guys ready? Okay, this is how I do it, and this is how I set it up. It's rise over run, right? So rise is my, what letter is rise? Y. In my ordered pairs, which letter comes first? X, right? This is X, and then I have Y, right? Every ordered pair is that order, right? X comes first because it comes first alphabetically, right? So it's X and then Y. Everyone okay with that? So the second letter in my ordered pair is always my Y value. The first one is always my X value. We okay? Awesome. So I set it up this way. I know my rise is my Y's and my run is my X's. So I just kind of connect them with a line. Okay? Choose one of the points. I don't care which one. Choose one. Remember, change means, what did I say change meant? What was I going to do? Subtract. Change means I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to take 4 minus 3 over 1 minus 5. So if I choose this 4 first, right? I chose that 4 first. Guess what? If I chose that Y first, guess what X has to be first? The X that goes with that one. So I have to choose this X. Okay? Does that make
Makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Make sense? Okay? So notice this point is right on top of each other, and this point are right on top of each other, right? Okay? So I have to make sure they're lined up that way. And now we're just going to do the math. What's 4 minus 3? 1. Awesome. And what's 1 minus 5? Negative 4. And there's my slope. I can't simplify it because it has a 1 in it. So I'm done. Negative 1/4. Blow it up so someone can see. We won't say who. Everyone knows who it is, though. It's you, Jonathan.
I get it.
Okay, so we're going to do number 2. And we're now, what's the difference between number 1 and number 2?
It has a negative.
Number 2 has some negatives in it. So we have to make sure that we take care of those negatives. I'm going to do the same thing, right? I'm going to have my Y's together, and I'm going to have my X's together. Does it matter which point I choose to start with?
Yeah.
No.
No.
So this time I'm going to choose to start with this one. I'm going to start with this X, okay? This Y. So I have X minus, and then my other Y is a negative 3. Why did I put it in parentheses? Because this one is a what?
Negative.
And I'm always going to subtract. So it's always going to be this number subtract
Oh.
whatever this number is. And this number is negative, so I put it in a parenthesis. Okay? So if this second number is negative, I'm always going to put it inside a, because what happens is you guys forget to put the negative, minus a minus. So if I always put this side a negative inside a parenthesis, I don't forget. It's minus a negative number. Does that help a little bit? Okay. So over divided by which which x comes first? -2 or -5? -2 because I chose the 6, right? So I chose this 6, so I have to use this x first. I chose this y, so I have to use this x. So it's going to be -2 minus -5. Okay, so I'm just giving you a strategy to take care of that negative sign. Always put the negative inside a parenthesis, okay? So then I'm going to get, what's a minus become? Positive. So 6 minus a -3 becomes 6 plus 3. So what's 6 plus 3? 9. Lovely. And I have another minus a minus, right? I have -2 minus a -5. That minus a minus becomes a plus.
So you take out the negative and turn it to plus.
Yep. If they're both right to I have a negative and a negative right next to each other, it becomes a positive.
Okay.
And it kind of looks like, I'm going to tell you, to me, it kind of looks like one. Because I have right here, right, this and that kind of looks like positive.
Oh, yeah.
The parenthesis and the two negatives kind of looks like positive, right? So -2 plus 5 is 3. You could switch them around too. I could say 5 minus 2, right? Sometimes it's easier to think of it that way, yeah? Okay, so it's 9 divided by 3.
3.
Awesome. 3.
Way too long. Sorry.
I know, it's okay. I was going to say it's morning, but it's not really. So 4 problems, go.
Oh, lesson 2.1, slopes. That one?
Yeah.
All right. 3 questions? That's all?
No.
Yes, 3 questions.
Then it's not, no, it's supposed to be like 14 questions.
There's only 3.
Okay, I'll have to fix it.
Uh,
Sorry. Well, I had a meeting this morning, right?
huh?
I had a meeting this morning, so.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. Slope equals -4 minus a -7 all over 6 minus 0. If you didn't choose the same point I did to go with first, is that okay? Yes, because the end answer should be the same. Are you okay with that? Okay, -4 minus -7 is 3. And 6 minus 0 is 6. So I should have an answer of 1/2. Okay? Is that a little better?
Wait,
How-
what? You get, which one is that?
A?
What? Oh, okay.
Did you get 2?
No, I got something completely different.
Do you see what you did wrong? Do I need to make it bigger? Here, you do that. I'm going to go fix this. Okay, oh. I have hair falling out everywhere again. Okay, B. I'm going to do the same thing, right? So I'm going to connect my Y's, and I'm going to connect my X's. And slope is going to be, let's see, which one should I go with first? 14, should we go with 14 first?
Yeah.
14 minus a -3 all over -9 minus a -9. So what's 14 minus a -3?
Negative. No.
Nope.
Wait, 4.
Minus minus is positive. So 14 plus 3. 17. Okay, and minus a minus again is positive, right? So -9 plus 9.
18.
-9 plus 9.
Oh, 9.
Oh, Lord. You owe me $9. You pay $9 back. How much do you owe me?
0.
Great. As soon as I put it in money, you guys are like, got it. Okay, what's my slope?
Here's the other.
If I have a 0 in my denominator, what's my slope?
17. 1.
0.
Undefined. Remember, we cannot divide by 0, ever.
I just said 0. Is that okay?
Yeah, no. 0 and undefined are not the same number. Undefined. If you did it in your calculator, you did 17 divided by 0, it'd give you error. If I did 0 divided by 17, it would give me 0. Two different answers, okay?
What?
Okay.
Say that one more time.
In your do you have a calculator with you?
I got this.
Okay, so now I'm going to take, see, again, my y's over my x's. So what's 3? So I got 3 minus 3 over 13 minus a negative 5. So what's 3 minus 3? What? And 13 minus a negative 5.
H. Fuck. Oh, wait. I'm dumb. I mean,
Minus minus is plus. So 13 plus 5, 18. So now in your phone, do 0 divided by 18. Do 0, do it. 0 divided by 18. Put it in your calculator.
If that works, that's just bogus.
Huh?
No, no.
Do 0 divided by 18 in your phone.
Me? 0 divided by 18?
Yes.
0.
Yeah, because if I have 0 candy bars and 18 friends, how many candy bars are they going to get?
But it's
0.
not the same thing.
It is not the same. It is not. Look at the difference. Let me make it a little smaller. Okay, look. This one says, BT, look. This one says I have 0 candy bars and 18 friends. How many candy bars are they each going to get?
Shit.
0. This one says, oops. Slide this one down. This one says I have 17 candy bars and 0 friends. Do you see the difference? 17 candy bars, 0 friends. 0 candy bars, 18 friends. I can't take something, 17 candy bars, and make it disappear into 0, into nothing, like it never existed. That's what dividing by 0 does. Can I take something and make it disappear? And don't say I can eat it, because that's just transforming it to something else. That's not making it totally disappear into nothing. Do you see the difference? Okay? 0 groups. There's nothing left, nothing anywhere ever in existence ever. That's what dividing by 0 says. This says I have 0 of something, whatever it is. And I have 18 friends. What are they going to get? 0. Do you see the difference now? Okay? It's not the same thing. It looks like the same thing, not, because of where it is in the division problem. Okay? Okay. And if you don't trust yourself, put it in the calculator. Okay? Okay. And then the last one, whew, okay. Last one says, should we start with the second one this time? -7 minus a -8 over -14 minus a -6. Boy, that's a lot of negatives. Minus a minus means, so I'm just going to rewrite it this time. -7 plus 8 over -14 plus 6. So -7 plus 8. 8 minus 7. 1. Okay? -14 plus 6. I owe you $14. I pay $6 back. How much do I owe you? 8. And since I owe you, it will be
-8.
-8.
If you owe us,
Huh?
if you owe us.
Okay, that's it. Okay, you have, let's see, in Delta Math, you have 7 of these ones to do. Yep, these ones. And 7 from a graph to do. 14 problems.
And we keep this paper?
Yeah, honey, those are your notes. You put them in your binder, right?
Sure, skis.
Okay.